Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I am Josh, and today we're here to go over a recent interview at San Diego Comic-Con from Robert Kirkman, addressing the fans and his defense of how he ended the Walking Dead comic.
Yep, so it's been a while. As you guys know, we've had a lot of content coming out here, but we wanted to get back to the Walking Dead comic and kind of go over Robert Kirkman's thoughts and feelings, explaining to fans why he ended it, defending his decision to end it, and it's really cool. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah, before we go any further, as you can see, I just got my San Diego Comic-Con Rick Memorial t-shirt in.
Mine came in the mail as well.
Got my Midnight variant.
Yeah, so if you haven't picked that up, definitely check it out. There is a letter from Charlie Adler in there, and it's actually a really good letter. So, yeah, my shirt came in. I didn't get a chance to go home. I usually come straight from work here to record, so, but you'll see it in another video with me. So, let's go over what Robert Kirkman told the fans and everyone else regarding his ending of the Walking Dead series.
Yeah, so this is a quote directly from Robert himself. I'll let you start.
All right, so he says, I know people criticize the book for being repetitious sometimes. I go on the internet, I'm human, I go on the internet and see things that make me sad. And then I go back on the internet to look for more things to make me sad.
First of all, that's the internet, right? It is a deep, gaping hole of just sadness, and you go further, and when you're, I can understand this part, like when you're like someone in the spotlight, you know, a celebrity, a creator like this, you don't have to go far without seeing someone that just doesn't like your material.
Somebody that trashes
right?
it. But most of those people who trash it are reading it so they can say specific points to trash it.
Well, shame on them, you know, to be honest.
It's like you're reading it anyway, but you're just trashing on it the whole time.
You know, it's like every single Facebook post about, well, The Walking Dead's losing millions of viewers every season. And then you go in there and see people, I quit watching at season 3. Yet you're on a post posting about The Walking Dead.
Right.
Like, so you're seeing news about it and you decide to put your 2 cents in.
They're still checking it out. But he just says, I feel the story wasn't repetitious.
I think for the most part it wasn't. I mean, if you're going to sit there and say, well, they went to 2 wars, well, okay.
2 very different wars.
Completely different.
Against different people. So, yeah. So, you want to go ahead and hit that up?
Where are we?
We are right here. This paragraph.
I felt like it escalated, but I wasn't acutely aware of how it could become repetitious, and I really wanted to avoid that. I wanted there to be a narrative flow, and in order to achieve that, I knew I would have to wrap it up. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But it seems like he was kind of always had that thought of, am I reinventing the wheel, or am I repeating storylines over and over again? It seems like he was like, conscious of that.
He's very conscious of it, and he kind of mentioned his original ending to the series. If you guys didn't hear what the original ending of this was going to be,
it was bleak.
You were so glad he didn't do this because it was terrible. So basically, Kirkman would have jumped the series forward many years, revealing a statue immortalizing the legendary Rick Grimes. Zooming out would further reveal the statue was quite old, and Alexandria was dilapidated and overrun by walkers. So it would indicate Rick succeeded in rebuilding civilization, only for society to collapse again and leaving the world to the dead.
In a way, I kind of like that. I do. I kind of do like that, but here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
He wanted to end that particular ending right when they got to Alexandria, which was like issue 69.
He was about to end it during No Way Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's early in the book, and we didn't get to meet all the characters that we met after that. So if you were going to end it at that point with that ending, okay. Right. We weren't so invested in all these characters. But what we met afterwards was some of the best storylines in the whole series. So it's like, now you're reading that, it was like, whoa, I'm glad he didn't do that.
Yeah. So Kirkman actually admitted to it.
Yeah, he admitted it was terrible and bleak and sad. And he said, it was me as a young writer figuring out how to cap everything off. It was really unsatisfying because it made everything pointless.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So he says, I considered it, but I was having fun with the book, and I kept generating new ideas for the book. When I came up with the idea of the ending, that's what brought it about. The ending has purpose. It made everything matter and gave a purpose to everything Rick did and how he impacted the world. It's hopeful to see how people who are struggling and dealing with loss are making the world a better place and making a world that's better and good. Once I came up with the storybook and Carl is reading to his daughter, I became laser focused on getting to that moment. You go ahead.
For the characters inside the story, in hindsight, it's a better world than what came before. It's a world where people appreciate things more, come together, work together to solve problems instead of fighting and picking problems. People have been pushed to their limits, and they are in a mindset that's different from where they are now. It's a more peaceful world, and it makes people appreciate what they have more. That's the message. The zombie apocalypse happened. People die. But at the end of the day, you learn to appreciate what you have.
Yeah.
I like
100%.
it. Yeah.
100%.
And by all means, when I hated that it was ending. Absolutely hated it when I heard the rumor that it ended, that it was ending. I didn't want to read the issue. I hated it, but but I'm a fan and I love the series, so of course I was going to read it. And after I read it, I'm like, this is amazing. If you're going to end it, that's the way to do it.
Our biggest concern was basically, okay, how is this ending? You know, because of course we didn't know if Rick was going to die. We assumed he probably would be, but we didn't know where it was going to go. And then of course it jumps forward 10, 15 years and it's like, wow, okay, yeah, I wrapped it up, you know. Do I prefer that one over his original ending? Definitely. You know, I wouldn't have liked to see the dead being over, you know, it's the dead bringing back into the world, Alexandria overrun.
Like he said.
And not exploring the world, and now there's not that many zombies around anymore because they're, you know, changing things around in their new world.
Like he said, it gave purpose to what Rick had done.
Yeah.
And that issue really drove that home, you know, from the statue to multiple people in that issue saying that Rick Grimes gave us this world, or, you know, Carl going out past where Eugene was and there wasn't a Rick Grimes influence because it had spread that far, or was. So, you know, I loved the ending. The only thing, if I'm going to say anything otherwise, it's going to kind of be how they set it up.
Yeah.
Right? By surprise, giving us solicits for future issues.
Oh, yeah.
That I could have gone without, but I understand because how else are you going to do it?
Right. I mean, like they said with those solicitations, they were used for promotional purposes, but I mean, they drew them up. Charlie Adler did the artwork. He actually posted it on his Facebook page. Hey, here's Walking Dead 194, 195. Like, cool. They were in solicitations and everything, but in the end, it sucks it ended, but hey, we had a great time reviewing it on the channel. I think when our channel started, we were at issue, what did we start with?
167, I think, the death of Andrew.
167, yeah. So, yes, late in the game, but hey, we had a lot of fun doing reviews for you guys, and we appreciate the support on that. But you know, Kirkman has to defend himself. He's going to be hearing it for years.
I don't think he has to.
Well, not really defend him. Yeah, I'll take that back. Not really defending himself, but it's kind of like us wanting to know for Kirkman, why did you do this? And he's got to defend himself.
Absolutely, that's what it is.
It's all it is.
I completely agree with you. Like, it's those fans that are griping about it that he feels like he has to defend himself about. And we need to think here. This is his story. It's not our story.
Right.
It's what he created, and that's what he wanted to do. Is there any evidence in the final issue that it connects with the previous one? No. I don't think that there was one storyline that connected with 192. And that's kind of like what makes people think, well, was this really the ending? Or was this the ending all along? That's what he says. And I believe that. But was it just put in there at 193 instead of 250? Was there more story in between there that could have been provided to us?
According to him in the letters?
No. But I always think that maybe there is. Maybe there was. It's just he felt like this was the right time to bring the ending because it fit. And I think it was the type of ending that it would have fit no matter where you were in the series.
Yeah, and I do like...
To a certain extent.
Yeah, and I do, and I'm sure all writers go through this to where, they don't want things to be repetitious. I'm sure that's always in the back of their mind. They're, you got to think, this went to 193 issues. I'm not a writer.
That's 15 years.
But that's a lot of story detail to not repeat itself, even by accident, over and over. So I can understand how hard that can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were some things in there that if I were to reread the series, that probably were repeated. But you know what? A series of that caliber, I was willing to live with because it was an amazing story, and it will always remain that. And I'm of the opinion that it could have probably continued with a lot more story that would have not been repetitious, because
there was a lot.
We saw that in the final issue. The quote-unquote Eastern Alliance meeting up with the Western Alliance.
Expansion.
There could have been tons of stories after the fact.
Oh, yeah. A lot of room for, seeing how they expanded outwards and, how did they put their people out there for the Western and Eastern Alliance? Is it their people who went out? We discussed this previously.
We did, but
well,
still,
I mean, it's just...
It deals with
it falls
the point
in line
of
with
this interview.
It's the not knowing and thinking of ideas from us saying, oh, there was story here, but for Kirkman, would it have worked? In his eyes, no.
And that's all that matters, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Was what he was thinking and his story, and I'm okay with that. I guess you want to say made peace with the fact that the series is over.
It just brought up when the solicitations came out for the final books that are coming out. It brings up the feelings again.
It's really over.
Am I really gonna still go into my comic shop every month now, or every month, and not pick up a new Walking Dead comic? Once I get the trade paperback, that's probably about it for me. I don't connect the omnibus. I don't collect the hardcovers.
I want to.
I think I might start with the omnibus because it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Huge book.
There's so much more content in those books too. Kind of behind the scenes material, but
sketch art and stuff
I think this is the reason why I haven't completed my first run yet. I'm 5 issues away from completing my first run. It's not about money, because the earliest I need is issue 3. The expensive ones are out of the way. Issue 3 is still expensive, but maybe a part of me doesn't want to complete it yet.
Hey, but we're excited for anything that Robert Kirkman has in store, for spin-offs, for more stories. We're hoping for more Negan stories. There's other characters that he can definitely do. And I'm sure it's probably in the back of his mind of, okay, who do I want to start with to do a spin-off comic series? If it's even 6 issues, 12 issues, 20 issues, you don't have to do another spin-off of where we're expecting 300 issues from you, Kirkman. 10 issues, a miniseries, 15, 20, that would suffice. I wouldn't care.
What about Courtroom Michonne Hawthorne?
Yeah.
A courtroom series.
Courtroom series. Little mini-series. But there's so much more that he could do. We're definitely psyched for what's in store for future Walking Dead content. And but we totally agree with Kirkman and how he felt he needed to end it. He already knew back after the Whisperer War that he's like, hey, I don't have much left. It's going to be ending soon. I'm not making my 300. I won't make 200, but it's coming.
I am never, ever going to give a creator flack for ending a series prematurely or ending it, period. It's their decision. It's their art, and they can do what they want.
But the crazy thing that's gone around, and we'll wrap this up here shortly, but the crazy thing that got me, though, is how all over the internet, it was still tagged as he abruptly ended it. But when to us,
to the fans, to
the fans, yes, because we didn't get leeway. Like he's already announced that he's ending Outcast. We've known this for months now that he's ending it.
Absolutely,
he announced it at San Diego Comic-Con. So to us, yes, it was abruptly ended, but technically not. If you read his letter, it wasn't. It was planned out.
Yeah. Now, you can believe that or not, all you
want.
But to him, it was an ending that was always planned for 193. Right. The moment he realized he could only get to 193.
Now, here's the question. Would you have rather known ahead of time or how it happened?
Look, the only reason why I'm saying that I take gripe with the way that it was done is because with nothing connecting from 193 to 192 and the covers that we got, it just made me feel like they were planning on going past 193. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I didn't like it. I'm just saying a part of me wants to believe that there was more story to tell. It's just that abruptly Kirkman decided to end it.
Yeah, and the other thing that got me was I was kind of upset that they didn't provide enough copies for people for the local comic shops. So what the sellers could have done was provided comic shops extra copies, like, hey, this is a key issue. Here's an extra couple hundred to 1,000. Because a lot of people online and some of our Skybound insiders and stuff, a lot of people were like, my comic shop doesn't have them. They only got 50 copies and they're gone. And these people had to literally wait months to get it.
Why I'm laughing and why I'm smiling is my question. How many did you get?
Well, I got 2, but at our local comic book shop, we have a pull file, and so if I mark that I get 2 copies, I get 2 copies. But I know what you're saying though, because our comic book shop went out quickly too.
They did, right?
But they should have at least sent out more copies so people can get it, because then they were out, and most collectors like us, yeah, we'll get the second print, but most people want that first print, and they're not going to go on eBay and spend $50 to $100 on a book that only cost $5.
Yeah.
So it's like, get more copies out there. But I do agree. Sorry, I do agree with you that leading us to believe there was more issues coming out. That was one thing that poked at me. Like, I can't. Did you do this because it was a ruse to fuck with us, or did you really have more? But Kirkman was like, I think it's better to end it here rather than continue.
Or hey, was 193 meant to be 193? Was 193 meant to be this huge book? Or were they originally supposed to cut that into 2 different issues?
Yeah.
And maybe end it to where, spoiler alert if you haven't read the issue, okay now, but was it meant to end at maybe Carl destroying all of Herschel's walkers, then cut to the end, the rest of the story? Don't get me wrong, I loved that it was oversized.
Oh,
that is awesome.
I can't wait to send that to
you just got to wonder what happened in the background and the scenarios leading up to Kirkman saying, okay, this is it.
We'll never know.
No.
People are going to continually probably try to poke at him and ask him, and any cons that he goes to, any events that he goes to, they're going to try to, but Kirkman is probably going to have his standard reply to what he's going to say, and we'll never hear it. I mean, I'm sure his close friends know it, but it is what it is.
One last thing, parting comment is I hope that if we do get a spin-off series, that they actually put a number to it. Say, this is how many we're doing, just so that we don't...
Give us ahead of time, yes.
Don't let us, expect more than what you're actually going to give us.
For a specific character that we would always love, Negan, if you're doing another spin-off for him, yes, I'd say ahead of time, let us know how many issues that's going to be.
Some people were like, they're not going to let you know.
Well, usually with miniseries, you do know.
Yeah,
if it's 6 issues or something, but if it's like says Negan series, then we're like, oh, this is going to be ongoing. So at least 12 to 30 issues. At least, you know what I mean? So let us know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, let us know what your thoughts are of Robert Kirkman defending the ending of the Walking Dead comic book series. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that like button to let us know that we did a good job on this video. Hit that bell notification so you're always notified when we upload new content. Follow us at NocBro Nation on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Josh.
I'm Jarrell.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.